No, don't go in that house. It's haunted.
I was completely unprepared for that ending.
You thought the Sixth Sense twist caught you off guard? It fooled 98% of first-time viewers. But rewatches reveal an unbreakable code planted from frame 1. M. Night hid Malcolm's fate with ghost rules nobody noticed. Red signals intrusion, no touches with the living, frozen breath everywhere. We're breaking down 8 production secrets that made it work, including the Disney debt disaster that forced Bruce Willis into the role. But before the PG-13 birth this film sparked, check the outfit that trapped him forever. Number 1. Okay, let's start with the most obvious visual clue that almost everyone misses the first time around. You see Dr. Malcolm Crowe everywhere, at home, at the restaurant, at Cole's school. And he is perpetually in the same outfit. That layered sweatshirt, the suit jacket, the overcoat. Every single appearance, from the tense restaurant scene to the final moments with Anna, is in the exact same clothes, down to the wrinkles and the style of the jacket.
In the olden days, in Europe, people used to hide out in churches.
What were they hiding from?
It's not just a wardrobe choice. It's a constant, silent declaration of his fate. This is the first fundamental rule of the ghost world in this film. A spirit appears exactly as they were when they died, a victim frozen in the moment that claimed them. Malcolm is oblivious, stuck in time, wearing the outfit he had on when Vincent Gray burst into his home and shot him in the prologue. He is trapped in his final outfit, unable to change or move forward.
Vincent, I'm sorry if I didn't help you. But if you just let me try, you just give me a chance.
This simple visual cue is the audience's first opportunity to figure out the truth, but we dismiss it as the quirky habit of a character consumed by his work, or simply bad continuity. It's neither. It's a precise cinematic rule. Willis's wardrobe consists of items he wore or touched the evening before his death, including his overcoat, his blue rowing sweatshirt, and the different layers of his suit. This level of detail confirms that his fate is sealed from the moment the film cuts from the opening scene. But here's the wild production secret that links directly to this clue. Bruce Willis didn't want to be in this movie. He was contractually obligated to be there. Years before, Willis produced and starred in a Disney film called Broadway Brawler. Only 20 days into production, he fired the director and most of the crew, effectively derailing the entire project and sticking the studio with a massive $17.5 million loss. Facing lawsuits and financial ruin, Willis signed a desperate 3-picture contract with Disney, essentially working off his debt. The 3 films were Armageddon, The Kid, and The Sixth Sense. His entire salary from these films went towards reimbursing the studio. This means Willis was literally at the mercy of the studio, forced to work on a project he might not have chosen otherwise.
I know what I want.
This real-life obligation perfectly mirrors Malcolm's own desperate, contractual drive to fix his professional failure with Vincent by helping Cole. The clothes are the visual proof of his fate. The multi-million-dollar contract was the real-world proof of Willis's artistic obligation. It's an incredible layer of meta-narrative that the actor's real-life situation perfectly matched his character's afterlife burden. The studio had him locked in, just as the ghost world had Malcolm locked in. You'll even notice the clothes he wears are subtly different layers, but the core pieces, the suit, the blue shirt, are always the same.
The way we used to talk to each other. Like there was no one else in the world except us.
This frozen look connects straight to the next untouchable rule, Malcolm's inability to interact with the world.
I don't see anything. Are you sure they're there?
Number 2. Now let's look closer at those scenes where Malcolm tries to connect. They all fail. And they fail in the same mechanical, chilling way. Watch the tense restaurant scene closely. Malcolm reaches for Anna's hand. She pulls away. He doesn't pull out a chair for Anna. He doesn't open a door. And he never successfully causes a physical change in the living world. This is the foundational rule of the ghost world that Cole himself eventually spells out. They don't know they're dead. They only see what they want to see.
Keep moving, cheese dick.
Malcolm's state of denial makes him invisible and untouchable to the living, creating a perfect one-way traffic of interaction. This subtle buildup is what makes the tension work. When Cole first meets Malcolm outside the church, he freezes. His eyes locked on Malcolm's midsection wound. There's no handshake, just a cold, terrifying stare. Cole's initial fear is not shyness toward a stranger, but terror at seeing a ghost with a fresh, bloody injury. The audience is meant to assume Cole is just a shy, traumatized child, but he's actually reacting to a ghost he can't escape.
I see dead people.
How often do you see them?
All the time.
Here is the geek gold. M. Night didn't invent this technique. He evolved it from Rod Serling's textbook. Check out the 1964 Twilight Zone episode, The Hitchhiker. In that story, a driver named Nan Adams is driving cross-country after a car crash and is then haunted by a creepy hitchhiker who keeps appearing along her route. The hitchhiker ignores the living and only talks to her. The twist is that Nan Adams died in the crash and is a ghost the whole time. The hitchhiker is just another spirit.
They don't see each other. They only see what they want to see.
The Sixth Sense uses the exact same blueprint. An oblivious spirit who doesn't realize their fate, failed interactions with the living, and total denial of the truth. M. Night simply amped up the emotional stakes. He built the tension with a series of ignored actions. The failed pen handoff builds to the ignored restaurant presence, which escalates to Cole's physical discomfort. This untouchability pattern is why the next secret, involving the color red, is necessary to confirm the ghost's presence. Number 3. If you watch the whole movie, you'll notice a deliberate absence of the color red. The palette is dominated by muted blues, grays, and foggy yellows. But then, there are random jarring pops of red. M. Night uses this as a visual failsafe, where the ghost world or a terrifying emotional truth contaminates the real world. Red is used exclusively for objects that have been tainted by the supernatural or are signaling a moment of truth. Malcolm fumbles the key to his own cellar office. The door has a bright red knob. He is locked out of his own space by a ghost signal. Anna is wearing a red shawl draped over her chair in the restaurant scene where she is unable to communicate with Malcolm. The mother who poisoned her daughter, Kira, wears a screaming red dress at the funeral. This signals her tainted, murderous love. Cole is wearing a red sweater at the birthday party where he is locked in the cupboard, and a red balloon floats by the ghost who appears there. When Malcolm listens to the old session tape with Vincent Gray and hears the disembodied voice in Spanish, the volume dial he touches has a visible red marker. This is the moment the ghost world finally breaks through his denial. In several background shots, red traffic lights appear when Malcolm is nearby. This is one of Night's quiet visual cues. This relentless vigilance down to the faraway traffic lights and tiny red details is what makes the code unbreakable. This obsessive attention to detail is why the next secret, involving Toni Collette's performance, is so masterful in selling the lie.
They used to hang people here.
Lawyers, lawmakers.
They were the ones that hanged everybody.
Number 4. The film succeeds because it convinces you that Lynn Sear is just a deeply exhausted, frustrated single mother. Every sigh, every distant glance, every time she seems to speak past Cole, we chalk it up to her own emotional strain. But here is the truth of the performance. Toni Collette, Lynn Sear, was acting full scenes solo. In the home scenes, Lynn speaks passionately about her fears for Cole, her financial strain, and the emotional exhaustion of raising him alone, never making eye contact with Malcolm. She is monologuing to empty air, implying her distance through sighs, heavy breaths, and averted eyes. She can't see him, so her reactions are based on the weight of her grief over a failed marriage and the isolation of single parenthood. This is one of the most brilliant acting feats in modern cinema. Collette had to imply all the tension, grief, and emotional exhaustion through micro-expressions and body language alone. She had no scene partner to react to. If she had shown any sign of awareness of Malcolm, the entire twist would have crumbled. The fact that viewers interpret her silence and frustration as normal single-parent stress is a testament to her Oscar-nominated performance. Also, consider the perspective of a child psychiatrist. A critical clue that Malcolm is a ghost is that he never speaks to Lynn Sear, Cole's mother, after the initial meeting. For a child psychiatrist, talking to the parent is a major ongoing part of the treatment, a necessity to understand the home environment and gauge the child's progress. Malcolm's complete lack of interaction with her is a professional red flag the audience dismisses as his obsession with Cole. There's another layer of production genius here. Toni Collette showed up to her audition with a shaved head, reportedly for another role. M. Night was so worried Disney would reject her appearance that he didn't even show them the audition tape. He simply told them he wanted the actress from Muriel's Wedding, and Bruce Willis backed him up.
Baby, why are you shaking? Cole, what's wrong?
Collette wore a wig for the entire film, adding another layer to the film's theme of hidden truths and altered appearances. This complete lack of interaction and Colette's masterful performance of isolated grief is what makes the twist unbreakable. If the film had simply shown a normal, strained mother-son relationship, the audience would have been suspicious. Instead, Colette elevates the emotional stakes, making her grief feel real, not just ignorant. This masterful denial is only possible because the audience buys into the illusion.
It's Edwardian, beautifully worked with mine-cut diamonds and an actual color Burmese sapphire. I think maybe when people own things and then they pass away, a part of themselves gets printed on those things.
Number 5. The illusion of Malcolm's life hinges on the conviction that he and his wife, Anna Crowe, are simply estranged. Olivia Williams' performance is a masterclass in selling this lie. In the now infamous restaurant scene, Anna speaks to Malcolm about their relationship, her wedding ring, and her frustrations with him. But every time she speaks, she is looking slightly away, sighing, or averting her eyes. The audience processes this as the body language of a deeply unhappy distant spouse. The truth is that Anna is performing a monologue of grief and emotional distance to herself. She is not talking to Malcolm. She is talking through him, working through her profound loneliness and loss. Williams had to act scenes of intense marital tension and emotional collapse largely alone, without feedback or acknowledgement from her scene partner. The brilliance of her role is the specific way she cuts Malcolm out of the frame. She never accidentally makes eye contact, never touches him, and never physically acknowledges him. This is most powerfully seen in the final scene, when she is asleep on the sofa, watching their wedding video. Her monologue, delivered in her sleep, is the final intimate sign that she has been dealing with her grief alone. This performance perfectly supports the film's central mystery. The audience is constantly looking for signs of life in their marriage, but Williams is only showing signs of a life that has already ended.
I know that I've been a little distant. I know that it makes you mad. I just feel like I'm being given a second chance and I don't want it to slip away. Anna.
Happy anniversary.
Number 6. The clues are everywhere, but only a few are as personal as this one. Malcolm's wedding ring is conspicuously missing from his left hand for the entire film, a fact that is only resolved at the climax when Anna drops it and Malcolm sees his bare finger. The audience is focused on the tension between Malcolm and Anna, assuming the ring is off because they are separated. But the truth is, the ring isn't missing. It's invisible. Because Malcolm is dead, he only sees the ring on his finger in the final scene when Anna releases it and he realizes the truth. To protect this tiny detail, Bruce Willis executed a subtle but crucial performance choice. Willis is naturally left-handed. If he had performed all his actions with his dominant left hand, the audience would constantly see his bare ring finger, and possibly notice the missing band. So, throughout the shoot, Willis overwhelmingly favors his non-dominant right hand for tasks like writing therapy notes, sketching drawings, and gesturing. This is an unusual choice for a naturally left-handed actor, and it minimizes the exposure of his bare left ring finger, deliberately keeping the evidence of his widowhood out of sight. This included the tense scene where he tries to hand the pen to Cole. The act of constantly using his right hand is a visual manifestation of Malcolm's deep denial. He is clinging to the belief that he is still married and still alive, so his subconscious forces him to hide the evidence of his widowhood. It's a physical lie that perfectly matches Malcolm's psychological one. If Willis had slipped up and used his left hand for a dominant action, the twist would have cracked early. This level of physical detail connects to another major production secret, one that made the actors physically suffer, all to sell a tiny, crucial clue. Number 7. One of the most unsettling recurring signals in The Sixth Sense is the presence of cold. The film establishes early that supernatural proximity causes a sudden temperature drop. When the bathroom ghost appears, the thermostat plummets. The rule is clear. The dead bring the cold with them. This is why Cole is constantly bundled up, wearing coats indoors, clutching blankets, shivering in rooms that should feel safe. The audience reads this as anxiety, illness, or a naturally nervous child. But look closer. In several key scenes, particularly in the living room, the hospital, and during intense therapy moments, Cole's breath becomes faintly visible. These are moments when fear peaks, and the supernatural pressure is strongest.
Who were you talking to?
Just practicing my lines.
The cold is no longer implied, it's physical. The effect isn't flashy, it's subtle, and that's exactly why it works. Here's the crucial production truth. This was not a digital effect. M. Night favored practical realism wherever possible. To create the visible breath, the production team cooled select sets using heavy air conditioning and sealed environments with plastic sheeting to trap the cold.
Standing next to my window. They scare me too sometimes.
Actors were genuinely uncomfortable. Scenes had to be shot in limited windows before conditions became too harsh. Haley Joel Osment wasn't just acting cold. His body was reacting to the environment. The shivering, the tight posture, the guarded movements all come from real physical discomfort. That authenticity is what allows the cold to register subconsciously rather than theatrically. The result is a chilling implication. Malcolm doesn't just walk through rooms. He changes them. The cold becomes another quiet confirmation of the truth the film is hiding in plain sight, a detail you feel before you understand it. And this obsession with repetition, planting the same signal across different contexts, leads directly to Knight's final structural trick, his reliance on a classic cinematic principle that ties every secret together. Number 8. Malcolm is trapped in a state of limbo, symbolized by his repeated failures to open the locked cellar door to his office. He fumbles the key and tries the red knob 3 times in one scene, a symbolic barrier between the living, upstairs, and the dead, downstairs. This is part of Knight's obsession with the rule of 3, a foundational motif in storytelling that creates a satisfying, subconscious rhythm for the audience. The film is packed with it. 3 major twists: Vincent's attack, Cole's secret, Malcolm's death. 3 times Malcolm arrives home in the same way. 3 light patches on the wall in the opening shot. 3 knocks on the church door, and 3 clothes pegs on Cole's tent.
Why did you leave me?
I see people.
The film is often analyzed as having 3 endings: the Kira Collins case, Cole's confession to his mother, and Malcolm's final realization. The locked cellar door with its red knob is the ultimate symbol of his failure to move on. He is locked out of his safe space by his denial. This pattern reinforces the film's structural perfection and the invisible architecture that holds the twist together.
She said you came to the place where they buried her. She said the answer is every day. What did you ask?
So, what is the final secret that ties all these threads together? It's the ultimate meta-twist, proving that the people closest to the film were the ones most blind to its potential. The script was purchased by Disney executive David Vogel for around $2.25 million, with the stipulation that M. Night would direct. When the studio's higher-ups balked, calling the price a massive overpay, Vogel was subsequently fired before the film even premiered. Disney, lacking faith, sold the production rights to Spyglass Entertainment, retaining only a small fraction of the film's box office share. The film went on to gross $673 million worldwide, becoming the second highest grossing film of 1999. It's a stunning contrast. The studio that was too hesitant to back the movie's champion missed out on the massive upside of one of the biggest sleeper hits in history. The executive who believed in the twist was fired, and the corporation that owned the film's destiny was blind to its potential all along. This film didn't just have an unbreakable twist. It changed the way we watch movies forever by proving that intentional, disciplined, and deeply layered filmmaking will always triumph over studio doubt.